Alright, Ashville. This map's cool. I like Ashville. It's one of those very unique Koth maps. Uh, it's probably one of the most unique for Medic as a class. Because the map itself is so narrow that it's really, really tight with everything that you do. And I'll explain that in a bit. But for now, we are just going to go over the start of things because it's really important. So, rollout. This is a little different than what I did last time with payload because in Koth rollouts are really important because you gotta get your teammates fast and like all the way out there and quick, and you gotta make sure everyone gets their buffs before they get out there, or at least the most important classes. So most of the time you're just gonna spawn like this, and you find your demo. He should be calling medic. Everyone else should be crouching so that you can immediately beam onto him. He's gonna like jump at this door or whatever, and then when everyone's about to move, you immediately get on your scout. And as you move, you're gonna get to here. Your demo should be at the signs here where it says battlements and control point. He should be right there. You just tell everyone to shift to the right side so they don't tank the arrow, and you just arrow your demo. And as you're doing that, you're with your scout, and you're running here. Now, depending on how fast your team is rolling out, you can buff your players. You can linger a little bit. The most important classes to buff, especially, are your heavy and your soldier and your sniper. You should be doing this every time. You arrow your demo and then immediately full buff your heavy, then your soldier, then your sniper. Immediately. If you have the time, you can slightly buff your pyro too, just to give them a little bit more health for air blasting and stuff when bombs come. But heavy, soldier, and sniper, they're your number ones, and you need to buff those guys immediately so that they can get to work on shooting a bunch of people and taking a bunch of hits before dying. Because they're the most dangerous classes on this map, and they need it quickly. So, once you do that, you're going to come out here. Now, I know this may seem counterintuitive, and I know it sounds stupid, but don't play your life. I know on all the other Koth maps, I know on all the other payload maps, you play your life, and you position yourself till you're safe. You don't do that here. We don't position ourselves here. You need to be the most aggressive person possible. Okay? Don't play your life on rollouts. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die. It's worth it for your team. Just don't play safe. Just play stupid. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but play stupid. You're gonna immediately walk out and be with your team wherever they are. You're gonna be out in the open. Who cares if the sniper's watching you? Just try and dodge as much stuff as you can. Who cares? Just move forward and make sure your team gains more space. Because that's what your team is trying to do. You're trying to gain as much space to force them out and make them leave. And maybe even killing their own medic. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Okay? Okay. Make sure to play stupid. Okay. As you're doing that, your team's gonna, like, get a bunch of damage, so try your best to just arrow your players as much as you can as they're fighting. If you miss, it's no problem, but just make sure you keep your demo and your heavy alive, because those are the ones that'll make you win this mid-fight. So try your best to do that. If not, then your team's probably going to get steamrolled by getting just out-damaged. So at that point, you just leave through Shutter and then just go to bats, which I'll talk about later when we talk about advantage and disadvantage states, which I'm going to do right now. Advantage state. There are a lot of ways to play advantage state, and there are three sort of positions I like to call. I'm actually four positions. So, immediately your first spot's here, behind your roof. This is a really good position because your heavy should be here on head glitch, just watching over bats and shooting people, and your demo should be somewhere here, watching bats and watching shutter, and watching ramp as well. That's where your team should. That's where your combo should be. And your scout's gonna be on your roof, so if he immediately needs buffs, you can just look up and just give him buffs whenever you need. And your sniper should be behind you all the time, so your sniper's with you as well. Like I said, it's really, that's what I mean by everything's really narrow. Everything's just going to be right next to you when you need it, so everything's going to be with you. There's no need to walk on a flank and then buff those players on the flank and then come back with your combo like on other maps. No, everything's going to be with you, and everything's going to be great. And in this part, that's just what it is. It's really good. But yeah, this is your default, sitting in this position. There are a few things to take into consideration. One is the sniper sightlines. You're open to this sightline, and you're open to this sightline. So you gotta play extremely careful. If you want, you can sit in this bush to make the sniper not see you. They will see you there, but maybe they won't see you in shutter door. But I don't suggest sitting here all the time because then you can just get spammed by someone shooting at bats. But if you really, really want to not be seen, you can try your best and sit there. But it's not a guarantee. Another thing is how much narrow vision that you have. Because you can't see bats. And that's where most of the players are going to be anyways. So a soldier can just bomb over your roof and just see you and then just immediately bomb rush you and then you die. It happens. But that's one of the main disadvantages to this position, because you just simply can't see what's happening behind or in front of you. Your team can, and they can call bombs, but sadly, due to things like Discord lag, it's going to be really hard. Of course, there's Mumble, but you have to pay for services like that, and it sucks. But yeah, this positioning's fine, because it gets your team up, and it gets your team in a good position, and they should protect you. Buff your pyro a lot. Your pyro can immediately stuff things out. Your pyro will be a savior for you on this map, because you're going to die a lot on this map, and your pyro will be with you every step of the way. Next positioning is a lot more safer and has a lot more view, and it's right here. It may not seem like it, but this position is also pretty good. I like this position a lot more than this one, just because it gives you more sight to see. Sure, you're a little bit less disconnected with your heavy, which isn't that great, sure, but you can see what's coming at your way before it even happens. Because you can see people bombing from bats, you can see people bombing from here, and the sniper sight line, you're not peeking it, and this sniper sight line on bats, you're not peeking either. Shutter's the only thing that you really need to worry about, and if sniper does show up, you can sit on toxic and just crouch, and he can't see you there, or you can immediately go into here and not get peeked, or you can sit here until the sniper's out, and then you can go back to the position here. But all in all, this is the only sightline that you really need to worry about, and sitting on toxic isn't really that bad of an idea either. But when you're in this position, your skip can come for buffs. Your heavy needs to play a little bit more back, which is an ordeal, but anything to make you safer. And your sniper could be here, or same thing on toxic as well. Everything's still around you if you're in this position. You're just playing a little less aggressive than you should, and you're playing a lot safer. I like this more than others, and I suggest other medics to use this positioning here, because it's so good. And you only need to worry about one sight line, which is really obvious that you can, like, pull away from. Or just sit here and not get hit. It's just really, really simple. And yeah, that's really cool. Next positioning, is right here. This is anti-sack position. I know it sounds stupid, but this is the best way to ignore a sack. When you're like Uber ad or something, and you know they're gonna sack on you, you can just sit here, your team will come and get buffs from you, and you can even peek and arrow it really quickly if you want to. Everything in that nature. Just get your players buffed here, they'll come to you, and then when you sack, you just walk away, and you just sit here until sack is over. The only reason you sit here is because you're kind of screwed on stairs here, because soldiers can immediately bomb on this roof, and then strafe in, and then they immediately come in and just hit you. I've had that happen to me once, and it was not pretty. So, yeah, when sack is happening, you rush out here. The only thing that you really need to look out for is spy in this room, in ramp. That's the only thing that you really need to worry about, just watching for spy. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for, this hold. A more rare hold is aggressive hold, and sometimes it can work, if you're here. Usually you want to position yourself here, just behind this wall, and just buff your players here and buff your players here, watching both bats and both lobby, and also watching ramp side here as well. If you're getting pushed out, then that's when you transition to here, so that you're not peeking the sightlines, and then once your team tells you to go out, you just jump on this crate, and then you're already here. Or you can just, you know, drop down and walk here or whatever, but jumping on the crate's just faster, but it doesn't really matter in the slightest. But yeah, you won't have this happen that much, but aggressive holds are pretty funny. And if you need to use it, like if everyone's dead, you can abuse that. Alright, now defense. Like when you don't have the point. When you don't have the point, your positioning mainly will be here. Do not position yourself on the stairs, like I said before. A soldier can just immediately bomb on roof and just strafe in and immediately kill you. Just sit here. You immediately want to check for spies. Spies like to jump on this crate here and then stab you in the back, so that's your main priority to look at. Same for here. Spies also like to be on this barrel here watching over you. Some like to be right here watching you as well. Or on these crates here, or even here. There's a lot of weird spots for spy to just loom over you. It's really stupid, but yeah, spies, just watch out for them. I say this a lot. Watch out for them, turn your back all the time. It's important that you don't die to him. I know it may not seem like spy is a good class, but in the case of Highlander, spy is very, very dangerous, and you need to look after him and make sure he doesn't get enabled to do whatever he wants, because if you do that, you probably will lose the game and lose your first place too. But enough about overkill. I'm talking about Ashville, which they also lost on. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Anyways, hi Snow, if you're watching this. You position yourself here, and most of the time, when you guys want to peek, you're just going to... Your team's gonna try and peek out like this. If that's so, you peek out like this, and you heal your team here so you're not in a sniper sight line, and when they drop down, you drop down as well. Trust your team. Trust your team. Make sure you don't get scared. Make sure to trust them. And also watch out for spies in here once you drop down. But trust your team, and when they walk down, you walk down. But yeah, that's usually how dry pushes work. Be careful when you go out here. It may not seem like it, but this is a sniper sight line. It's so narrow. I know it's so narrow. I know it's so narrow. But this is a sniper sight line. It's the size of a pixel. Make sure as you're running out, your demo goes first and then you go out first. So that this little pixel thing, you don't get shot at. Because his attention will immediately divert to the demo, and he won't even think about shooting that pixel spot. He won't even think about it. He'll just immediately shoot the demo. So make sure your demo walks out first and then you walk out first, so that you can get out and then immediately start healing your team. Just immediately. Okay? Okay. Most of the time, though, you're just waiting for an Uber exchange. That's pretty much it. Usually you can dry fight. That's what usually happens, but most of the time, it's just Uber exchange. You do demo scout. You Uber your demo, and then you flash your scout. And then you get the force. And then you walk. And then you walk back. And then you go for a dry fight where you go like this. And then you immediately go in again, and then you just dry fight like so. That's usually how it works. And yeah, that's pretty much how this little spot is over here. And that's usually how you break holds where you're losing. One last thing, sacks can also be a thing if you're on disad. So immediately, if your team is immediately going for a sack, you buff your players, you buff your demo, your soldier, your pyro, your heavy, your sniper, you buff everyone. And then when they say, okay, we're sacking, you immediately go with your engineer who should be with you, and you should immediately just leave. If your NG's not with you, just go back to spawn. Just go back to spawn. It's not worth you dying over if you don't have anyone. And if you have your NG with you, good, you just build your Uber until your team comes back. And then you have ad, and then you can take an Uber in. So, yeah. And then you just walk back in and go. What other things should I think about? I guess I can talk about spy time. This is one of the easier, spy times to know about, because it can be immediately seen by just this shutter door opening up. On rollout, you'll immediately see a spy going, and usually this is where they like to go. Sometimes they like to immediately decloak here, but usually most of the time, they just like coming through and then wrapping around. They like dead ringering and then coming in and then just wrapping around ramp and then going for the stab. That's usually what spies usually like to do. So they like dead ringering. They like DRing a lot on this map, because what's stopping you from just penetrating the lobby door and then just going around and immediately going in and then just stabbing the entire combo, which you know they'll be at because the map is just so narrow on the focus point. So why not just do that? They can also just decloak here. They can also, I already said they can decloak here. They can decloak in the bush. They can decloak back here. They can sometimes go on top of here. If you're not careful. Actually, no, I don't think you can jump up there. Can you jump up there? No, you can't jump up there. Spies will not be there. You can decloak here. I can decloak here sometimes if you're running somewhere, or even here. So if you have a situation where you have to leave through ramp, you should watch this door here as you go, because spy can immediately stab you if you're not careful. So yeah, just watch out for that. When you're in bats, spy can decloak here, spy can decloak on the pack, spy can decloak there, spy can decloak in this little corner over here, spy can decloak down here, spy can decloak on these crates, spy can decloak over here, or on there, spy can decloak from under and immediately walk in and kill your combo, spy can decloak here if you're rolling out bats, spy can decloak there, spy can decloak here or on these bushes here, spy can decloak here, spy can decloak here for whatever reason, or here. So watch out for spawners. Spy can decloak technically on this bush, but this is a shitty spot and I don't recommend. But just watch that spot anyway. Spy can decook here. Yeah, Spy is really dangerous on this map. As you can tell, there are a lot of Spy spots even in your own spawn. So, so just be careful about Spy. Always whenever you're coming out of spawn, always spin in a circle, get that 360 vision, and make sure to watch out for Spy. Speaking of what I was saying about the Spy as well, or what I said in that partially, when you die, sometimes you're gonna have a situation where snipers watching from shutter. So usually you have to position yourself here until they clear that out, and once they clear it out, you just say, is it clear? Did you clear out shutter? And if they say yes, then that's when you peek, and you immediately get back to spinning around and watching for Spy. If not, and they're doing like an aggro hold or something, there are two ways to roll out. There's bat side, and then there's ramp side. Ramp side's a little weird, but it's effective because your team can just spam out bats if they're aggro holding. So if they do, you just position yourself here and make sure the sniper doesn't peek you, and also watch for Spies with insert spots I said before. But yeah, just watch out for Spy. And if you really want to ego peek, you can try, but I don't recommend it because then you'll just immediately die to a pick class. So yeah, pretty much that's it for that. And then there's bat side that you can roll out of, which is usually your go-to if they're not doing an aggro hold and are just holding shutter. You just immediately go here, you watch out for Spy, of course, as you're doing so, and you walk up here like this, and you hug the barrel. You hug the barrel, because if you go out here, boom, sniper sightline, you're destroyed. Snipers can peek you on this crate here, on boxes, and just immediately snipe you in the head. So just watch out for that. If you know that the sniper is peeking that, they can probably still shoot you if you hug it here. So what many medics do is they jump up here. They just jump up here and then strafe around the barrel like so, and then they get out. Just like that. So you just walk out. Ooh, I did it wrong. Just walk out over here and then strafe around, and then you're here. That's what I recommend you do. Just strafe around the barrels. And yeah. What other useful stuff are there? Oh yeah, tank your heavy. I can't stress this enough. If your heavy is a really aggressive damage dealing heavy, use that. I haven't been playing with Ankylo recently, but when Ankylosaurus, like, this is the big example that I have of a really good heavy that just DMs. If your heavy is like in and can peek shutter, don't be scared unless they're like stupid and all 9 of them are in this little spot here. If they're all in bats and your heavy can get through, peek with your heavy. Just peek him and just tank him so that he can deal a bunch of damage. I'm kind of getting myself out of that habit of tanking my heavy as he goes because I haven't been playing with really aggressive heavies recently, but heavy's really good on this map. So make sure you deal as much damage with your heavy as possible. Make sure to buff your combo as well, because on this map specifically, it's really hard to remember that. So yeah, make sure you buff your skill a lot, and make sure to buff your sniper a lot as well. More so your scout. You should be like 3rd on your heal pool, with heavy and demo being higher, and then pyro, sniper, soldier, and NG being below that in that order. That's what your heal pool should be like on this map. But don't stress if you don't, because don't worry, it's easily forgettable. But so if you do forget, get your team to like ask for a lot of buffs, because when they do, they get a lot more out of what they want. So, but if they don't, make sure to just every once in a while just look up at the roof and just ask for buffs for scout, and then look behind you sometimes when you're in a position where people are not shooting at you, and just buff your sniper. So yeah. What else? What else should I remember? I think that's pretty much it. I really don't have anything else to say about this now. I'm probably gonna do Steel next, because that's gonna be the last week. So yeah, stay tuned for Steel Week, because Steel Week is a very unique map for Medic, and I'd love to get into that. So, yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.